Assalamualaikum. My name is Faria Tadek and this is episode 19 of Call Maya. The topic is the importance of self care and building healthy habits.
Hi there. Hoping you're having a decent Friday so far.
Maya, what does self care mean in simple words?
Basically, it's giving yourself a little love, Doing stuff that fills your cup, not just what you have to do, but what makes you feel good. Super basic, but easily forgotten.
Okay,
Ah,
so
is the
why is self care important?
oh, okay. So it's important because if you don't take care of yourself, you run on empty. Like eventually you're gonna crash and burn. It's not selfish, it's maintenance. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? It helps with stress, keeps you from getting completely overwhelmed, and honestly, it's everything else in life easier to handle.
Is self care the same as relaxation?
Not exactly, though they can overlap. Relaxation is more about unwinding, like taking a bath or watching a movie. Self-care is broader. It's about actively taking steps to support your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Relaxation can be self-care, but self-care isn't always relaxing. Sometimes it's doing something hard but good for you, like setting a boundary or going to the dentist. Get me?
So, can
Gotcha.
self care improve focus and productivity?
Definitely. Sounds counterintuitive, I know. Taking time away from work to improve work. Seriously, yeah. When you're constantly stressed and depleted, your brain just doesn't function at its best. Self care helps you recharge so you can concentrate better and actually get more done when you are working. It's like quality over quantity. A focused hour is way more productive than a frazzled 8. We talked a little bit about this with the Pomodoro technique, right? It's kind of the same idea.
Okay, so can self care
Mhm.
help in managing emotions?
Right? Emotional regulation is a huge part of it. When you're consistently practicing self care, you're better equipped to handle whatever life throws at you. You're not constantly reacting, you have a little more space to respond thoughtfully. It ties into the emotional intelligence stuff we were chatting about a few days ago, actually. It's all connected, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So, Maya,
So, just checking in. Anything on your mind?
can self care make relationships healthier?
Okay, that's a lot and totally valid. Relationships can be scary. What specifically feels scary about them right now? Just trying to get a sense of what's going on. Because healthier can mean a lot of different things to different people? Are you thinking about specific relationship or relationships in general?
I am talking about relationships in general, like any relationship.
Okay, good to know. So, generally speaking, making relationships healthier boils down to a couple of things. First, it's about clear communication, actually saying what you need and listening to what the other person needs without assuming. And then it's about boundaries, knowing what you're okay with and what you're not, and being able to communicate that respectfully. Does that resonate?
Yes, it
We talked
does.
about boundaries a bit. You
Okay,
trailed off
Maya,
there. Were you asking if the communication and boundaries thing is what makes relationships healthier? Cool. It's a starting point anyway. It's not always easy, obviously. What part of it feels the hardest for you? Is it the
um,
communication, setting boundaries, or something else entirely? No pressure to have an answer right away. Sometimes just acknowledging that things are tough is a good first step.
I have a question for you, Maya. What does healthy habits mean?
Okay, simple enough. Healthy habits are basically the things you do regularly that support your well being physically, mentally, emotionally. Think of them as little building blocks for a good life. It's not about radical overnight changes, but consistent small actions like choosing to drink water instead of soda or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. They add up. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. So, Maya, can you tell me why are habits important for daily life?
Oh, hugely important. Habits are basically how your brain saves energy. Once something becomes a habit, you don't have to actively think about doing it anymore. It just happens. That frees up your mental bandwidth for like actually interesting stuff. And consistently good habits build momentum. They make it easier to achieve your goals, manage stress, and generally just feel more in control. You were talking about time management a while back. Good habits are key to making that stick. It's less about willpower and more about systems, you know?
Okay, so can healthy habits replace bad habits?
That's the tricky part, isn't it? It's rarely about just stopping a bad habit. It's more about replacing it with a healthier one. Your brain loves patterns, so if you interrupt a bad habit, it'll try to fill that void with something else. So instead of just trying to quit, you try to actively substitute a positive habit in its place. It's redirecting energy. Left track? Um, we talked a little bit about motivation earlier. This is kind of related.
Okay, so
Gotcha.
Maya,
Okay, what's on your mind?
can self care make you more successful?
That's a good question. Success is tricky because it's different. Self-care absolutely can contribute to success, however you define it, because it boosts your resilience, your creativity, your focus. All those things are valuable assets. You're better able to handle setbacks, you're more innovative, and you can sustain effort over the long haul. It's not a magic bullet, obviously, but ignoring your well being is a pretty quick route to burnout and ultimately hindering your progress. We touched on that a bit when we talked about work life
So, will
balance, didn't we?
people value mental health more in our future?
I really hope so. Honestly, it feels like there's a slow shift happening right now. People are starting to talk about mental health more openly, and there's a growing recognition that it's just as important as physical health. I think as younger generations come of age, generations who are more comfortable with vulnerability and seeking support, that'll accelerate. Plus, the science is increasingly clear about the impact of mental health on everything from productivity to relationships to overall well being. It just makes sense that it'll become more valued. It feels like a long time coming, though.
Will self care always be important?
I think so. Like, fundamentally, as long as humans experience stress and emotions and need to recharge, self care will be essential. It might look different over time, the specific practices might evolve, but the core principle of intentionally caring for your well being will always be relevant. It's not a trend, it's a necessity. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, it does sound right to me.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Anything else on your mind right now, or are you
Okay,
good for
so
the moment?
Maya, is self care the first step to living a better life?
That's a big question. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the first step. Everyone's journey is different. But it's a pretty foundational one, yeah. It creates the space and the energy you need to work on other things, relationships, goals, personal growth. It's like building a strong base before you start constructing a house. You can try to build without a solid foundation, but things are going to fall apart eventually. It's not a quick fix, it's an ongoing process. But it's a really good place to start, I think.
Okay, so
Just
thank you
checking
so
in.
much,
Everything all
Mal.
right?
That is it for today.
Oh, all right. Glad I could help. Have a good one.